It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to it, your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso, live on SABC3 on this beautiful Wednesday morning. Now, it's time for us to turn our focus to social media, which we know has totally defined a decade of how we interact. It's been an enabler for great change. We've seen how it's been able to play out in the political space and conversations of that nature. But does it have its downsides? Let's find out from our tech and gaming expert, Grant Hines, who's here to review the latest documentary, The Social Dilemma. But of course, just unpack what that particular documentary or social dilemma film says about social media.
Well, yeah, I want to ride off of that.
Yeah.
Because
you're not reviewing it. No. You're not doing that.
Because I think a lot of people watched it now. We're all talking about it, right? We were talking about it off camera.
Yeah.
You know, like, when did you join Facebook? How long have you been Facebook? Facebook has been a big part of all, you know, the American election process.
Yes.
It's been a big part of how we're sharing the stuff with COVID. Yeah. You know, so it's
how we connect with our loved ones as well for so many years.
Yeah, and also because we're in lockdown, that's how we're connecting with each other, and it's a really big part of our lives. But it's a new thing. You know, it's just come into the 2006. It's kind of evolved. They are the wealthiest companies on the planet. Like, why and how, and are they good for us? Wow. So I'd love to chat about that a little bit.
Let's start here. Do you think social media is good for us?
I think it's a mix. It really is a mixed bag, and I'll tell you, the bad sides are really bad, and I'm talking from somebody who is big into the tech space, and the good sides are really good, and we need to start working out how to you know, balance those things. So
let's talk about the good. What's good about social media?
So firstly, it's unified us. We're able to, you've seen social causes all around the world that have been mobilized by using social media. The communication between people that would not have been able to speak and against governments and regimes that are oppressive. You know, people have been able to use social media to rise up, and that's
really given people a voice in that regard, right?
It's great, and also just to be able, right now, like with COVID, we're able to connect with family and friends in ways that we weren't able to before, which is great.
Yes.
The negative sides, the obvious negative sides, are misinformation, and a lot of people thrive over that. You'll go onto social media and believe in an ideology or a movement or something, and there's sometimes, often the case, there is a lot of misinformation that's going on there.
Well, the start of fake news, the whole phenomenon around fake news, as it were, really does stem from Facebook and the misinformation, I suppose, that can be found on those platforms, right?
Of course, and also because we're sharing media, and media is easily influenced. Obviously, you know, the Russian hacks with the elections and the FBI unpacking that when it came to the American elections was really scary. Like, you know, we didn't realize, and it wasn't like a large amount of people that did that. That was like a room of essentially like early 20s kids that were able to create memes and start protests from different sects in the same space in the United States to create like a very segmented society.
And if you have to drill it down to the average user of social media, so let's talk about the everyday person at home, for example, a parent who's got children, let's say, who are early teens, 13, 14 years old. What are some of the downsides, the negatives of social media in terms of safety in that regard for that type of person?
Yeah, so there's obviously addiction and stuff, and safety. I think one of the things we need to do is start letting kids use social media a lot later in life. We start quite early. We give kids phones really early. We need to start limiting what they're doing on those devices and how they're connecting. Even if their friends at school are on social media, it's you know, maybe putting an age gap on that. And also for us, because there's data collection, and I'm going to get into data collection.
Yes,
it's probably the scariest part.
That's a big one,
and data collection of children's information is very scary. So just limiting kids on the platform, and addiction as well. Have timers, be proactive. A lot of the tech companies now are being forced to use tools that limit usage. And I think that we need to do that for ourselves and police ourselves, but we also need to start doing that for our loved ones and our kids if we're responsible for them.
What do we mean by data collection? When you say data collection, for someone at home, what does that mean?
Okay, so everybody goes, oh no, like I'm so-and-so, you know, lives in Cape Town or Joburg, whatever, no one cares about my data. Data collection is one of the most valuable assets that we have right now. Those companies that are collecting data are valued at billions and billions of dollars. And the reason they're doing that is not because they're giving you free email or the ability to share pictures with your family and friends. They're doing that because they have got access to a huge amount of information that you know, that they can feed into artificial intelligence and machine learning systems and predict you as an individual. And then again, like, we can influence behavior with that data. So you can choose who you vote for, what kind of car you're going to buy, and
how you're feeling today.
And how you're feeling today. And also that kind of information comes at a price.
Yes.
So if we have a segment of the market that we've got a lot of data on, that we can choose a car to sell to, right?
Yeah.
What car manufacturer is prepared to pay for that space?
Oh, it's a lot. It's intricate, Grant. But of course, this conversation can really unfold in so many ways. Please do weigh in on our Facebook, Expresso Morning Show SABC3, and let us know what you think. Of course, when this conversation goes on, you'll find out with JP Sebastian now the social dilemma is how the theme of if it's free, you are the actual product and you are the price that's being, you know, that's been paid, that's at play here.
Before we wrap up, can I just drop one quote?
Drop the bomb.
Yuval Noah wrote a quote in one of his books. He's an incredible author. He said that this new technology, this data collection, is the new colonization. They're colonizing us and giving us trinkets in exchange for one of our most valuable assets, and we've got to be very conscious of that.
JP Sebastian, are you going to decolonize us?